Welcome everyone, my name is Hao Lack, and in this Java tutorial session I will be covering switches. But before I do cover switches, I want to talk a bit about if, else, if, and else, and its similarity to switches. Okay, so let's just start with that. Now I'm going to use a grade example again. Okay, and you notice that I've created a char value there. Okay, so that's a char type. It's a character type. And notice the single quote. Okay, so let's assume the student has a grade of A. Okay, so if we do, for example, we do a comparison. Okay, A. So if a student gets an A, so I want to print out, say, good. Okay, so let's print out good. So, and let's just say that if a student also gets a grade of B, just for this purposes, we'll say it's also good. Okay. Oops. Also, so let's just say it's also the student should deserve a good as well. Okay. You notice that we already have duplicate code, right? Right there. Let's continue with the example and to introduce something else afterwards. Okay, so let's say grade C, and then we'll say marginal. Or no, let's just say satisfactory. Okay. Satisfactory. I'm going to do so that and copy that first. Okay. And else, if grade is equal to D, now we can say that this is marginal. Let's just say marginal. And else, poor. Okay, how about that? Okay. So now you know that there's a duplicate here, and if we run this, we'll print out good, right? If the student has a grade of C, we run it, we print satisfactory, right? So, so to refresh your memory, what happens here is that if it's C, it will evaluate this. It'll also evaluate this. Since they're both false, it'll get to C, and then it'll be true, and then it'll just skip the rest of the code. Okay, but going back here, I mean, this duplicate looks really bad, right? What we could do is use a conditional or here. So in another tutorial, I'll cover the logical or, but this is basically the logical or statement right there, the double parallel symbol there. And so we can actually do this. And then basically what that condition say there is that if the grade is A or a grade is B, right, then print out good. Okay, so that's all it is. All right, now I can cover the switch. Okay, so a switch looks like this, and it has the parameter grade in here. Okay, that's its parameter. Okay, and do that. Okay, so you notice that now there's a word of caution. Grade can be a char, a short, or an int, but it can't be a string. Not in 1.6, but in 1.7 and above, it also supports string types. Okay, so to prove that, all right, so int. Okay, so grade. And notice that int also works with grade, and you're probably wondering why, right? This is just because each character it gets converted to its ASCII equivalent. Okay, so that's what it looks like, and I'll cover that at the end. I'll show you the table, and then you'll see why. Okay, so there's our grade. Now, if I actually did something else, let's just try to do this, right? And say that this is a string. Okay. So you notice it'll complain and say that below 1.7, right? And we will support it. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Okay, so now that we have a switch, let me see the reason why I introduced the OR statement up there. And so if I do this, okay, right? Oops. With a switch, it actually handle multiple cases just like that. All right. So now I can actually do a print. Okay. Right. Now the one additional thing with switches is that you need to include a break. Okay. Breaks they're a keyword or a statement, right? Notice a semicolon. It's a statement, and with a break statement, once a break is seen for a switch, you'll exit the switch. Breaks is also used in loops as well, and I'll cover that in another tutorial. Right, and in a loop, it'll break out of a loop. Okay. So now C. What are you saying? Okay, we said satisfactory. Satisfactory. Okay, we gotta remember to break. Okay, C. So it's marginal. Yeah, remember to break. And now for the default, it's actually default. Okay? So the keyword is default there. Right? So for some weird thing with Eclipse, it isn't properly formatted, but we'll take care of that. So poor, and we'll do a break. Okay, so I'm gonna just format that again. Okay, so notice that now we run it, we get two satisfactory down here. Okay. So we change it to an A, and run it again. Both B good. Same for B. So we have B. I just say B. Run it. Yes. So there it is. So good. Again, okay. So recall that. Remember, I said, look, I didn't even change it back. I could have changed to character. It wouldn't make any difference. Way too many things running in the background. This is good. All right. So now, if I do this, let's just change to 6 to 8. Right? Now, I'll actually print out what grade looks like. Actually, I still have that. Right? So I'm going to print out grade. Okay. All right. So before I do that, let's. I'm going to go to this and this ASCII table. Okay, so we go to an ASCII table. Okay, just go back to. It's probably faster just from the first link. Okay. So you see the capital letter A is evaluates to decimal 65. Right? So we run it. Let's see. So you see that we do have 65 there. And that's the reason why. Okay. Chars and things. The internal representation is there's a conversion there. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.